Hello, YouTube. As is sometimes the case when you do stuff live in a new venue, we had some audio issues for this Stellaris stream, which is why it starts kind of abruptly. I cut out the bits that had audio issues in it. There was also some desync on the video on our face cam. Hopefully that has been sorted, but there might be some of them here because I'm under hot lights in front of people playing Steel Division on this side and Stellaris on this side. Enough of my ramblings. Now enjoy Daniel showing some of his favorite builds in Stellaris Utopia. Okay, let's hopefully there is now only Stellaris music.
Yeah, and luckily that was not my music. So where were we? Sound issues okay now?
Sound issues are, for the most part, what we can fix has been fixed. I think if people want to try, wow. Yeah, unfortunately, we have one person in each ear, so you're in the left and I'm in the right. We can't fix that at the moment, so we are unfortunately going to have to ignore it for now. That said, we can go through creature creation, because you had a great idea starting out.
Yeah, I was thinking that we try to explore some different playstyles that you can actually play in Utopia. So I'm going to try to create some of the species some of the combinations that I've actually been playing.
Yes.
Like one of the more stereotypical ones is what I call the Hobbit strategy. Or as I actually call it, the Geckobits.
Yeah, I turned off the camera because some people were claiming that the camera was out of sync. We can try and turn it back on and see if we do have a proper working camera. I'm gonna trust Twitch chat here to make sure everything's correct. Howdy, Twitch chat. Here's a clap.
Yep.
So tell me if that's in sync or not. If it's not in sync, I'm just gonna remove us for now because I can't sync it live.
Some people are saying yes. Can we get some Pog champs if the sync was correct or not?
You're not going to get stereo sounds on our audio because we can't do that with this setup. So if someone suggests in Twitch chat, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not going to be a problem. But if someone suggests it on Twitch chat, please let them know. Close but no cigar. Well, okay. Some people are minimal lag. Okay, we've gotten some Pog champs.
Yeah, so I think that's good enough.
So let's get back to what we started. You were talking about Hobbit strategy.
The Hobbit strategy. It's essentially focused on, having a small empire, not many systems, but you're building tall.
Yeah.
And some of the, so for example, if we have a small empire and we want to focus on unity generation and getting as many traditions unlocked as possible, what would be the best way? Well, usually going for something like industrious is always good because
we do know that the hobbits were very industrious people.
Yep. They were also not slow breeders, but weak, obviously.
Yeah.
Not so repugnant. Maybe deviants. Yeah, that's fun. They can be deviants. And then let's go with something else that might fit them. Thrifty. Let's go with that. And it seems like a tropical world would fit the Geckobits.
I would agree. Civ 5 Freaks Out points out that building tall as hobbits seems counterproductive.
Well, I've never really seen a very in that regard, I haven't really just add the vision of the opposite, the golden horde, but with hobbits, devouring the world or the entire galaxy with their swarms of hobbits. But that's not what we're doing here. We're doing the quite opposite. Gecko Shire. No, we're going to call it Paradise. Because it's...
Yeah. So in case people are wondering why there's background audio, or noise rather, it's because we're actually live from our booth at EGX Rezzed. And behind us, but basically in front of us, we have on this side 10 people playing Steel Division, and on this side we have 10 people playing Stellaris Utopia. So it's always going to be slightly noisy, but we'll make it work.
It was actually exciting to watch some people play Utopia. I had a fan that I watched him unlock what I thought was the world non-dev, world first Ascension perk pick. He finished the expansion idea group, and then he picked, I can't remember what Ascension perk they picked, but it was fun to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the GEC hobbits. I'm skipping like some of the flag parts right now.
Yes.
And going straight to the mechanics. I will be xenophobe, I will be pacifist, and I will be spiritualist. The reason for that is because we have redone the government systems. So, for example, you choose an authority, which is sort of like which type of ruling class or how the government or your country is governed. And then we have civics. Each empire can pick 2 civics at the start of the game. You can gain an additional civic through technology.
Yeah.
And the reason why I am xenophobe and pacifist is because I want to pick inward perfection.
That's a lot of monthly unity.
Yeah, it's 30% monthly unity and 5% citizen pop happiness, combined with the pacifist 20% unity.
Yeah.
That's plus 50% happiness. And I'm also going to go with agrarian idyll, which makes my farms produce 1 unity.
Damn.
So that's basically... And I will actually choose an imperial, because we will have a...
Okay. People are complaining about the face cam, so let's do that quickly. And can you show the ones you picked again so people can see?
The civics.
Yes, exactly. There we go. So that's inward perfection, and the other one, which is the
agrarian idyll.
Yes. So there we go, and now we can put our faces back, because who doesn't love our faces?
So that basically means, my farms also produce 1 unity now, and since we have inward perfection and pacifist, we produce more unity. And agrarian idyll requires you to be pacifist, so it all kind of goes together.
Yeah.
And I'm also spiritualist, because then you have some additional unity buildings. And and I would usually call this.
So you decided to go Imperial. Was there a reason to go Imperial?
Well, there's a
the Celestial
hint.
Okay, fair enough.
Hint here of something funny. It has actually no mechanical effects, but it's like if I'm playing with inward perfection and I'm Imperial, I actually get a special government type called Celestial Empire.
Yeah.
Some players might recognize what that's a nod towards, but some might not. I usually call this like the Gekobit Paradise. And usually some sort of fun flag. I usually do something like primary color or something like that. Some soft colors that show everyone else that we are pacifists and we are amazingly friendly, like that. I'll probably do something like that. Projectile weapons, hyperspace, and the reptilian ships look very friendly. So that's like one of the sort of strategies that I would play for building up tall playstyle, because I'm just gonna jump into the game actually quickly just to see what I can do. And on the planet we can see that each planet now produces 1 unity. Each farm on the planet produces 1 unity, and each capital, well, it already produces 1 unity, but so we already start with a pretty good unity generation of 6 each month, which and the base would usually be 1.
Yeah.
Well, 2 actually, because you start with the administration. So we already have 3 times as much unity per month starting the game as a strat that didn't go for unity would have. So people can probably easily understand why this is a very strong focus towards unlocking new traditions and ascension perks. Sorry.
And for those of you, hopefully I've done things to the audio, so maybe we're not actually split anymore. I'm waiting for PogChamps.
PogChamps,
if it's fixed. Hopefully we should be both in the same now.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it just takes me a while. Shit's live.
PogChamp if it works. Resident Sleeper if it's not working.
Okay, there we go. Everyone's happy.
It's a lot of PogChamps. So
sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yes.
So I actually play this in multiplayer, and still I'm playing this sort of strategy in multiplayer. And my goal with this is actually to unlock this tradition groups, and because each time you unlock a tradition group, you get an ascension perk slot unlocked.
Yeah.
And the goal for this strategy was actually to reach transcendence here, to contact the Shroud, which is actually something I managed to do in the last multiplayer game, but as we know, or some people will find out, the Shroud is not entirely reliable in the sort of things you get out of it.
Oh.
The Shroud is actually like very neutral. It's not entirely evil and it's not entirely good. And there's like things that have immense power and there are things that don't have that much power. My Empire in the multiplayer actually, we came across some sort of powerful entity, because I've actually not tried all the Shroud content myself. So it's actually very fun to actually try that out. And like I found this powerful being that like, basically I think I had options of like stop poking it or keep poking it or something like that. And then I like kept poking it and it spawned like a corrupted shrouded avatar in my realm. That was interesting. My fleet power was like 6k and it had like 57k. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to that system again.
and that's it. Now, granted, you were a pacifist empire, but having 6k as a fleet, it's not that much.
No.
So you got there quickly, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we also have because this is like probably one of the strats that can rush like a unity and unlocking traditions as fast as possible. So I was probably like many years ahead of time when it comes to like how fast you can do this as like another empire would do. So like I think I had like 3 planets, something like that. It was still very small empire, so for 6k it was okay, but I don't think even I could afford the whole fleet limit. Because something that's very good for actually tall, when you're playing tall, when you don't have that many spaceports, it's actually the Ascension perk called, where is it? Yeah, the Galactic Force Projection one. Yeah, that increases your naval capacity.
That's the one I got for the Starfish playthrough that me and Martin did.
Yeah.
And yes, so a lot of people, or some people rather, have been asking, why is it plus 200%? Why is it not, say, a percentage number? And when I got it, I experienced that, wow, this is actually quite a large bump just by having 200. But is there any thought behind it being a specific number rather than...
The reason why it's a specific number instead of percentage is because if it was a percentage, then the wider empires would gain more of it than the small ones.
Okay.
And the point of it is to have, tall empires that don't have many spaceports to be able to have a very large naval capacity as well. So that's why it's a static number instead of a percentage.
Yeah, so smaller empires benefit more from it, essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good answer. It's like you practiced. No, actually, Daniel has been here today doing demos for press, so you've been going through this game quite a lot today.
Yep. I actually wrote this script.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, like, the first interview I ever done with the press, like, they were already quite knowledgeable in the game, so just went off script immediately, but went okay anyway, I think.
And it's also important to note that when we realized that Martin is not here because he's homesick, so he can join us, and we're like, who can we grab? So I think, did we ask you on Tuesday?
Tuesday at like 4 in the evening, afternoon. I mean.
Yeah, we left Wednesday morning at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I took the cab from home at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yes.
So that was interesting. Actually going home this evening.
Yes,
that's gonna be nice.
but before that, I'm going to force you to go through more things. So that's your Hobbit build. Do you have any other?
We're going to do something else now, because that's basically the gimmick of this whole strategy. Something I tried. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to see if I can remember it, because I didn't like. This is like sort of memory. Let's say, we create something that's sort of human-like, but not really. Like that, it seems good. And we will have, if I remember correctly, this was like one's. Oh, sorry, I have to fix the traits. So that's very important. This is actually a build I did to just create a very powerful wide empire that still can get unity, because the tradition, unity cost per tradition increases by 25% for each planet you have.
Yeah.
So the wider your empire is, the more unity you're gonna need for each.
And is this empire just your core systems, or is that also including the ones in the sector?
It's every planet.
Yeah. So you can't cheese it by just having one planet in your core system than everyone else.
Nope.
Which is also a reason why letting your sectors colonize might be bad if you're going for more unity.
I'm gonna see if I can remember what this.
But one of the reasons I asked you to do this while you remember what's going on is that we kind of want to convey that with Utopia and everything, that it's kind of important to know what you want to do at the start.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you can have a great time by just picking fun traits and see what happens.
Yep.
But if you go in and be like, okay, I'm going to be a tall empire, I'm going to go for this.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of new stuff here that you kind of need to
think
about and plan.
It like adds an extra level to it, because like there's so many things to choose from with the civics and the traits, and then as the game progresses, your plan might change because you get boxed in or something. So then you want to go tall instead, or if you have a lot of like last time I played this strategy that I'm trying to build right now, I think I spawned with like so many free planets around me, and I was so lucky because there was already an expansionist build. Because I think I was going like, I'm gonna try to get science and minerals at the same time, and it was something like this: industrious for the minerals and intelligent for the science. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think I was still pacifist, so I could get agrarian idyll, because I have so many planets, and all the farms will still produce one unity, which might be too strong, but I'm not sure.
Does that mean that you weren't trying to eat people?
I was liberating people. I was a pacifist.
Because after playing the Starfish, I do enjoy the aspect of just having like food planets now, where you're like, since food is universe or galaxy wide, you're like, no, I'm just gonna have some food planets, and then I can have these nice sciencey planets somewhere else.
Yeah.
But of course, then someone just steals your planet, and you don't have anything to eat.
That's when you liberate them. Because this empire was, I think it's egalitarian, pacifist, and I can't exactly remember what. I think it was materialist, the last one.
Yeah.
So I was taking agrarian idyll and the beacon of liberty, because beacon of liberty requires you to be egalitarian and democratic. So I'm pretty sure this was what I was picking, and beacon of liberty gives you 15% more unity per month, which is pretty good for like a wide empire. You still get 20% for being pacifist, so that's 35%, which is pretty good. Combined with the unity. I'm just gonna, as I did before, jump into the game and like sort of quickly explain what I did. Just basically started mass colonizing as fast as I could. And going with the expansion.
Since we're in game again, can you just bring up the music player?
Yeah.
Because for people wondering, we are only playing the Utopia music at the moment, in case you're thinking, this is very Stellaris sounding, but I haven't heard this before.
Very utopian.
Exactly, very utopian. And I think this is the first time we've actually shown off the music in mine and Martin's playthrough. We did not use the Utopia music, so this is other than the in memory of MR, or in this case, where it actually says Mercedes Romero.
Press F to pay respect.
Pay respect, yeah. Of course, there's a video of that, so people have heard it before. But the other ones, they should be new.
The chat is okay. Now comes the Fs. Good.
Yes.
I was like, don't they care about MR?
There's been some people in the office. It's like, in memory of MR, who's that? And I'm like, what do you mean, who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone knows who that is.
That's what I've been saying.
Okay, but back to your strategy.
Yeah, this gambit is basically like you just expand as much as you can and try to get as much minerals as you can quickly, because all your pops have pretty good mineral production. Since we took the industrious one. And the first thing you do is pretty much, because you still start with a pretty good, like this is 5 monthly, and the other focus build was 6.
Yeah.
But it's also mostly because of agrarian idyll, since both of them start. But the other one obviously gets more percentage, and it's not going to have as much cost as this build is gonna have. So basically, the thing I do is like finish the expansion tree as fast as I can, because something that's new with Utopia is you don't have as many directly controlled system.
Yeah.
Like now I have the base is 3 now instead of 5, but I have +2 because I'm pacifist.
Yep.
So that's why it's 5 again.
And but that's since we're in on the planet system, can you, because I know we talked about it a few times, but it bears repeating. Why has it been changed to 3?
Well, we didn't necessarily want it to be so easy to mass expand.
Yeah.
So it was basically like sort of seemed like a bit of a rubber band, because we did introduce technologies that give you +1, and there are two technologies that give you +1 core systems. Sorry. So it's basically like, don't mass expand as quickly as possible without like having to put some in sectors and stuff. So I think that was sort of the reasoning, because we also wanted that modifier to be more valuable.
Yeah.
And that's something that's happened now with it being reduced to 3, because if it's 3 in the beginning, it's kind of difficult to get up to 4 or 5 without making some sort of sacrifice for it. But pacifists already like needed some sort of bonus, and this is a good bonus to get with the Unity, and also allowing like the agrarian idyll civic is only allowed for pacifists. So I think pacifist has a pretty good set of like strategic combinations you have right now. But yeah, anyway, this was basically like mass expand, build a fleet. Sort of like, it's a pretty like just a powerful build in my opinion. Like I built like the largest fleet I've ever had when I played, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I learned in the last playthrough in Utopia as well is that even though I was aggressive or pretended to be aggressive, I didn't actually start any other wars. So being pacifist in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a drawback. I mean, it's a drawback if you want to fight early, but if you just want to expand and make sure that no one messes with you, pacifist is kind of fine.
And something that's kind of fun though is like there are a few empires that are exempt from the conquest rules if you're playing pacifist. Because as a pacifist, I can still conquer fallen empires and hive minds.
Oh.
So that happened.
Yeah, that's nice. We do have a question. How does agrarian idyll do with slavery? Like, does it still give unity, or can you even have slaves as a pacifist? I don't even...
The thing is, agrarian idyll, you cannot have it if you are authoritarian.
Yeah. So...
It doesn't work that well, because slaves don't produce unity. So, I mean, you could have it, I think, if you're xenophobe. But it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend it. So agrarian idyll is mostly focused on, like, the Hobbit strategy is pretty much the epitome of how that's supposed to work. But this is like something that's sort of a side strategy, but maybe not really the main focus or the main design purpose of it. And there's something I guess we should also try, like building tall, but going for mega structures.
Yes.
Because that's probably something that we would do. I'm not really sure which cool appearance we would take.
Let's see. Do we have any? Do you have anything nice, new, and?
I don't think so. I can't remember every portrait.
No, neither.
I'm very system focused, so it's difficult for me to keep. Like, I don't rarely even know. Like, is this already in the live version? Is this is like coming in Utopia? Because I've been playing this version for so long.
No, I when we finished last week, Martin told me so. Well, we can't play on the beta branch anymore because it's got stuff in it that's not in Utopia. So I can understand that it kind of blends together. Yeah,
I'm actually so happy now that we have a stable build, this is finished Utopia, and it's like I really personally like it. Like I really like Utopia.
Yeah. So how, just in general, how was developing Utopia? Because it's the first major expansion, right?
Yeah.
For Stellaris, and it's the first one where the gameplay has kind of changed. Yeah. In some ways.
Because basically what we do story packs and expansions. So I think there's about like one story pack and one expansion per year. So this is the first expansion, and by the definition of an expansion as opposed to a story pack, it's sort of like this actually introduces new mechanics and core features, while the story packs mostly focus on like modular content that don't necessarily affect the core loop of the game. So what we do is like usually like we don't like these aspects of the game, or if we think that it could be better, or we read something from you guys at the forums, or Twitch chat or whatever, Twitter. Like all that feedback that we gather on what we think, we like put those into different boxes. Yeah. So we could have like internal management, empire customization box. We can have warfare box, diplomacy box. And once we have enough stuff, and we figure out like I think this needs to be fixed now, or like the most urgently, we pick that box, and that's sort of like what we try to do with expansion. And that's what we've done with Utopia, which focuses on empire customization and internal management. So like we're not trying to do everything at once, but rather trying to like focus on different aspects of the game and making them really good. Because like I think with Utopia, like I said, I'm really happy what we were doing. there's so much you can do. Like just creating your empire, you can already do so many options, like what type of empire I'm trying to create. But then, like while you are playing, you can adapt to things that are happening, and you actually get to customize your empire while you are playing.
Yeah.
Through the traditions, ascension perks, stuff like that. So I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy about it. But yeah, I'm not sure what to call these. We're gonna choose the platypi thing.
Yeah, I think
portraits.
that's a good choice.
Yeah, the Kroll. That seems like a good name.
Yeah. Okay, since you're selecting stuff again, I am going to remove the overlay quickly so we don't miss any tooltips.
I'm going to take this name list even though I don't like it. We're obviously going to go for intelligent. And I think we are going to go for...
Oh, sweet. I'm not on camera. I can scratch my nose. Go on.
Let's see. We can be weak, because I don't think we need that stuff. We can be sedentary. We can... No.
So, since we're going through here and while you're thinking about what to pick, which is the trait you'd never ever pick? I'm gonna ask you questions now.
Well, fleeting is probably like it should probably be -2 points.
Yeah.
Because it's like having lifespan, a leader lifespan minus 10 years is pretty harsh. I usually don't play with slaves that much either, so I usually personally don't play with decadent or fleeting that much. But all the other ones I can pretty much pick. And these two are new, by the way, in Utopia, since we have consumer goods now.
Yeah.
And depending on the species rights you set, the different types of species cost a different amount of consumer goods, which is a mineral cost per pop. So, for example, this trait would reduce the cost by 20%, which is pretty good if you are going to conserve a lot of minerals if you have a wide empire.
We have some questions about the Imperial Cult. I'm not sure what civic that is.
I can show that one soon when I've figured out which traits I actually usually go for when I create this strategy. And I think in the last strategy I actually made a mistake because I didn't take adaptive, which I think I usually do when I go the mass expand build.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, I do. Because I usually go for the adaptive, and then I finish the expansion tree first, and then I go down the diplomacy tree to get the habitability. So I get plus 20% habitability pretty early on. It's really strong. So I made a mistake when I created the last one, but that's fine. I think people will have just as much fun as creating their own, or have more fun creating their own stories and their own sort of builds. But yeah, I'm just gonna pick something. I think I usually go for thrift. It's pretty good. Yeah, just gonna generate something and go to the interesting parts. If we're gonna focus on getting our mega structures up, I would assume we want fanatic materialist. For some reason I find it a lot harder to like come up with the strategies off the cuff right now when I'm streaming. When I'm playing with myself, I'm actually like really fast at doing this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, that's always as soon as people come on stream and they haven't been on stream too much, they're like talking and playing the game at the same time.
It really taxes the
the
brain. I definitely go for technocracy because I want to be able to choose my research options.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to get the research alternatives here. So like, because I'm gonna look for specific technologies in this build.
Yeah.
So I need that. And then I'm probably gonna get, let's see. I'm not really sure right now. Could be pretty fun to go for mechanists. So you start with 4 robots.
Oh.
Then again, I did pick the mineral generation trait, so it's probably pretty overlapping.
And a mechanist and syncretic evolution are 2 of the new ones, right?
Yeah, these are 2 of the new civics that are introduced in Utopia. All of the rest are in the free update.
Yeah.
For example, the mechanists allow you to start with 4 robot pops instead of regular pops. But you also start with the technology to build more.
Yeah.
Syncretic evolution, you basically start with a subservient species. That are like, I think they are proles and they are strong. Pretty good at mining and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
of course the Imperial Cult that
I'm just gonna move to the last one that's in Utopia, and then we take the Imperial Cult. The Fanatic Purifiers is the 3rd one. So yeah, no diplomacy except declare war, insult, and declare rivalry. But yeah, you have to purge all Xenos. You gain unity from purging Xenos, and you get significant military bonuses. It's pretty fun to play, but it's actually more difficult than you would imagine. I actually think the other strategy that I did, the wide strategy, is probably more powerful. But yeah, Imperial Cult. Someone was asking. It requires you to be some degree of authoritarian, spiritualist, and you have to have the imperial authority, obviously.
Yeah, and then you
and
get less costly edicts.
Sorry, what?
No, I'm saying less costly. Yes.
And it also gives you a unique government, ruler name and government type. So your ruler will become the God Emperor. That will be the ruler title. For some reason, I find it extremely difficult to figure out what the hell I'm usually picking.
Well, then, in the meantime, I'm going to mention that Utopia is going to be released on the 6th of April, which is
in 1 week. Exactly 1 week.
In 1 week's time.
And before people panic, I think it's usually around in the afternoon.
Well, according to my stream schedule, and we always have a release stream before, it's going to be, the button's going to be pressed around 3.
Yeah. I think that's usually the time window. So no, it's not going to be in the morning, but it's going to be after your awesome stream.
It depends on where in the world you are. To be fair, because it's going to be around 3 our local time in Sweden.
We are being awfully Eurocentric here.
Yeah, we are. We are.
I'm just going to pick mining guilds because minerals are good. Probably something like this, I would imagine. Egalitarian and fanatic materialist.
Yeah. And we're running a rational consensus.
Yep.
It's very good.
Yeah, technocracy is extremely important. Okay, I'm going to choose the weapons, otherwise people are probably going to complain. What I would do with this is probably don't expand too much. Try to grab planets that are big enough, around 18 size at least. 16 maybe. But anything under 16 I will probably not grab immediately. And then I always try to get a second science ship at the beginning, but I do it with all of my playthroughs.
Yeah.
And I would probably, for this one, I would probably recommend going for, at least down here, in the Discovery traditions.
Yeah.
So that your science ships, when they survey planets, they actually generate research points, which is really useful.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems
so if
really
if you have a lot of science ships, maybe 3 science ships, running, exploring things in the beginning, you're going to get so many science points. So you're going to be able to tech faster, and if you tech faster, you also get, because we need to get up to a technology that's called mega engineering, because we want to build ring worlds and stuff. And there's no point for us to mass expand, because we're going to build tall eventually.
Yeah.
So we just need to grab a few powerful planets, establish our pretty good borders with frontier outposts, try to level your scientists up as fast as you can, take all your anomalies, research your anomalies, so you know, here if you get, for example, the Shadow Play one, which is +6 society, try to get those types of systems within your borders from the frontier outposts. I want to grab as many research station opportunities as I can. Just basically tech as fast as I can towards mega engineering. And mega engineering, I think, requires fortress technology, it requires battleship technology, and requires 0-point power, I believe. And unit is not going to be super easy with this build, but since we are going to try to attempt to stay relatively small, maybe 3 or 4 planets, it's not going to be that bad. We're still going to because we're playing very tech focused, we are going to have the best quality buildings everywhere. Yeah. So we're still going to be able to do fairly good when it comes to unit generation, minerals, research points, everything like that. So we're probably focusing on, because we're going to have to get wherever it is, Voidborn.
Yeah.
As fast as we can, and then Galactic Wonders and Circle of Life. We want these 3 because we want to build mega structures. So then we need to finish probably Discovery. Expansion is pretty good. Prosperity and Harmony at least. And sort of like that.
Yeah. Sounds good. We have a request which we might be able to do later to show off the syncretic evolution, so people can see what it actually looks like in game.
You mean we should start a new one or just cheat our way to it?
Well, let's start a new one just because.
So if we started something that we wanted to make synthetic, I would probably do something similar, because you want to You actually don't need to tech rush, but we want mechanists. Yeah, that's the big difference.
Yeah.
Let's pick something. Which ones obviously want to become robots?
Well, I mean, okay, so I'm talking about syncretic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
thought you said synthetic evolution.
Yeah, no, syncretic.
Syncretic. All
but
right.
for syncretic, I would argue the mushroom, or not the mushroom, the lovely.
For syncretic, we obviously want like evil overlords that use slaves.
Yeah.
And these are the perfect evil overlords, I think.
Everyone loves the geckos.
Yeah, the geckos are the best. But I'm just gonna random generate names right now. We probably want to be authoritarian.
Yep.
And maybe we want slavery guilds, probably.
Yes.
And we probably want syncretic evolution. And then maybe we want police state, because we don't want our slaves.
Can we pick any more, though?
No, sorry, I was for some reason thinking I could. I'll have to pick that one later when we get the technology to get the third one.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna pick police state. If we have lots of slaves, it's still probably gonna be very expansionistic, I would imagine. Materialism is pretty good. And yeah, let's go fanatic authoritarian materialist, because why not? And we're gonna be dictatorial, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Totalitarian regime sounds like a nice country to live in.
Yes, agreed.
Or not.
The dream of suffer. Yes.
Yeah, and then some funny flag.
Perfect.
What's a really even? I mean, this is very benevolent.
Yes.
The primary color has to be purple, like that. That's perfect.
Yes, looks great.
Did I miss anything? I probably missed traits. If you want to have a lot of slaves, you don't need the mineral production, because you're going to have slaves for it. Decadent, obviously decadent. So these are going to be like the ruling class. So let's say they focus on the energy, and they focus on the science.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have slaves for the food and minerals. They can be... Well, I guess they can be weak, because they have other people fighting for them. That's pretty good. Decadent, thrifty, intelligent, weak. That makes sense. We picked our civics, done. Checking on the planet. We have... Is that some sort of butterfly thing?
What are they?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I have not seen those before.
Maybe it's new.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember all the portraits. Pretty cool.
Yes.
I'm not sure they look like very efficient slaves, because they have very thin arms, but maybe they're very strong, like steel wires or something. So they are proles. They generate extra minerals and food. That's pretty good if they're slaves as well.
Yeah.
They are strong.
Which is great.
Very good. 5% extra minerals. So let's see. They have... we have slavery guilds, chattel slavery. They are proles. It's pretty good. So
that is a lot of food collected by that.
Yep. And the minerals is pretty good too. Because here we also get the strong.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 35% mineral production.
No, that's good.
So we have a pretty good like split between like which pops generate energy and science and which pops generate food and minerals. Let's see how much unrest they're causing. They're not actually causing that much unrest, because we have enough armies to suppress them. I don't mean suppress, I mean take care of.
Yeah. Always have defense armies for those pesky slave needs.
I'm going to check how many armies we have. Yeah, I think you start with 5 armies now.
That's side point. That's one of the things I like about Utopia, in that in previously, like in Crusader Kings 2 has been notorious in the fact that you can say really horrible things and be like, in Crusader Kings 2 this happened and then I had to do this thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to assassinate my sister because she was trying to conspire with my cousin and try and grab my land.
I think the thing is like CK2 is much more personal and explicit in that way, because you actually do like gouge people's eyes out and stuff.
Exactly.
But
now we can. It's starting to get there with Stellaris, with the extra with the new slavery settings and the this kind of thing. You can say more horrible things than you could before.
Did we look at the species rights?
Yeah,
we did.
We have looked at them before, but we can go through them again. So chattel slavery, that's kind of the normal one. And then
domestic servitude. So they don't generate. Cause I mean, chattel slavery is basically like, we use them for mines and farms and stuff. Domestic servitude is like, it's not as bad. Battle trolls, they don't generate energy and research and stuff. And then you have livestock,
which are just tasty.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
But if you want them to be happy livestock, you could probably also give them chemical bliss.
Yes.
And then on the topic of like CK2 being more explicit, this is like more like grim when you think about it, because it's like, we just give them games, diversions, drugs, and all that kind of good stuff. I think Martin has shown this one on Twitter and maybe on the stream before as well.
No, I've given my battle slaves chemical bliss on stream, and then I didn't really do that much with them.
Actually, why do chemical bliss not reduce army damage? It seems like it should.
No, I mean it depends on the type of chemical, surely. Like if it's, arguments could be made for either case.
I'll think about it.
Let's see if we have some questions from Twitch chat before we get out of here. Mainly because we have a few minutes left. One of the things, in case you missed it, like we said at the start, we are at EGX Rezzed at London, streaming it live. But more importantly, if you swing by,
you can play Utopia.
You can play Utopia. And not more importantly, but you can also get Utopia. You can also get Stellaris swag.
Oh, what's that?
Let me. I think we need to get to the bigger cam for this. So these are.
I think it didn't actually go to the big one.
Okay, right here. So this here, which is kind of hard to see because it's in plastic, but it's.
Oh, you should open it.
We opened one of these before, and we instantly regretted it. I'm going to open it again.
Let people guess first, if anyone can guess what it is.
We are still here on Saturday. Yes, we'll be here till for the whole event.
Are we getting any good guesses?
Oh, right. We have some people that have a request for hive mind, so we might show them off.
I can show them off.
So here is a lovely Blorg-scented air freshener. So if you're in the London area and you have EGX Rezzed tickets, and you won't. It smells so strong. Friendship. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. It's just it's just happiness and everything. Smells great.
I think that's how unicorns smell.
Exactly. It's
Care Bears.
It's Blorg approved scent to get the most out of your friendships. Let's get back to the game and show off the hive mind while we're at it. I've seen a lot of people play hive minds here on the Utopia computers. So clearly it's something people want. Does it smell like Blorg? It is a Blorg-scented air freshener. Thanks for that.
I know exactly what creature I'm picking, though. Well, it's actually a choice between two. With either these cool plantoids, which look pretty hive mind cool. Yeah. Or these, but I think these are my favorite. One of my favorite species actually, because it looks so cool. I always want to have a name that starts with X for some reason.
Yeah, it's so easy to pronounce.
I'm not gonna fix that right now. We all know that hive minds start on desert worlds.
Yeah, clearly.
And they have something that looks like maybe.
Oh, do we have scroll down? Can we scroll down in the city appearance? Okay, so that's the anthropod one.
This one, plantoid. It looks more like bug-like. Hive minds, they don't have any ethics. It's an ethic in itself that actually has some modifiers.
Yeah. It also disables the tutorial.
Yeah.
See, I can read things too. I'm going to get us into the... I'm going to remove ours again so everyone can see what's going on here.
Cool beans. Where were I? Yeah. They gain one extra influence. That's because we have to offset the fact that they don't have any factions.
Yeah.
And factions generate influence if they're happy.
Yeah.
And a large portion of your influence per month will probably come from happy factions. And they gain more monthly unity. But you have to pick the hive mind authority. So no democratic hive minds, because that makes no sense.
No.
Something that's different with hive minds is that they actually have their own set of civics.
Oh.
And I don't think we have ever shown all of these.
I don't think so either.
I have been asked on Twitter, and I have been posting a few of them. But I'll probably go through all of them now, I guess. Sorry. The subspaced FFAs it gives 15% naval capacity. The natural neural network gives 5% research speed. It's pretty good. The aesthetic one reduces the consumer goods cost by 20%. So like a lot of people are going to wonder like, oh, why do hive minds have consumer goods? Well, you can like argue that's other sort of things, like imagine like that they need it for, you know, their like maintaining their sort of like communication line or something, connection with the hive mind. Sort of like maybe like if it's like in StarCraft, like you having those what the hell are those called? You know, that spread the creep.
It's a good question. I
don't remember. Whatever. Let's imagine that's the thing. You need those type of things. I don't know. You figured it out. The next one is one mind that increases unity generation by 15%. And divided attention increases core sector systems by +2. And imagine, remember that the core systems was reduced to 3. So for some strategies, this might be an interesting choice to actually pick, so you can get 5 core systems immediately. Strength of legions, +20% army damage. Subsumed will, 1 extra monthly influence. This is pretty good, I would say. I would probably pick that. Not sure what else I would pick.
There was one last one, pooled knowledge.
Yeah, pooled knowledge. Leader skill level +1, leader pool size +1.
It smells like so much like Lorg here. It's a very strong musk.
Yep. And we were joking about, I thought he spelled like Utopia music, like Utopia musk. And then actually like 10 seconds later you actually open that thing.
I opened the musk.
It's actually very...
It's so nice. So
could
nice.
foresee the future.
Let's see if we can
unleash upon the world.
Ooh.
Smells lovely.
Yes, it does.
I think I've been converted now. Their research speed and influence cost, that's pretty good. Did I pick the traits yet? No, I didn't. Because here's the thing, like, hive minds, they are not affected by happiness.
Yeah.
And hive mind pops can only exist in hive mind empires. All hive mind empires. So, if you have a hive mind and I'm a hive mind and I conquer one of your planets, your pops still have the hive mind trait. So I can actually have them in my empire. But since they are not affected by happiness, you know, the resource generation will be a bit lower than, you know, if you would have happy pops. So I usually think you pretty much have to go for thrifty and intelligent. Industrious, I would say. Like then it's a bit harder because like, oh, maybe a natural thing is you think you should pick repugnant. Because all other empires are not going to like you as much because you're a hive mind, because they think you're strange. But actually picking repugnant might actually push you over the edge where they start disliking you a lot. So picking this or not might not be an excellent idea. And picking deviants would probably even a worse idea. That should probably be disabled now that I think about it. I'll fix that. What else? Actually, conservationist is pretty good, but we don't have the points for it. I think this is actually fixed, but in the first patch.
Yeah.
What else would I pick? It's actually pretty good to be able to resettle your pops as a hive mind, I've found. So I would probably not pick that one. Probably slow learners, because you have to sacrifice something to get the research production up. And and like how you play a hive mind is entirely up to you. It doesn't have a strong sense of like this is how you have to play it, like some of the other ones do. Or like you don't set a strategy as rigidly as you might do with some of the other examples we tried. This is more like, okay, I'm starting as a hive mind, and it's pretty like clean slate. What you do is pretty much up to the choices you make while you're in the game, actually. Yeah. So if you want to play like a very expansionistic, a conquest type, you can do that, absolutely. But if you want to play something else, it's pretty much up to you once you're in the game. So you can adapt pretty well. Because something you pretty much want to do as a hive mind is going down the the biological path as soon as you can. Because when you go down the biological path, it actually means that you can modify other species that you conquer or assimilate somehow. And you can gene modify them so that they actually get the hive mind trait, so that they can still live in your empire. Because if you conquer pops that are not hive mind traits on them, they will actually start dying.
Yeah.
And the same thing will happen if your hive mind pops found themselves outside the hive mind empire. They will start dying. But if you conquer them, you can gene modify them to actually have the trait, which also means that later on you can gene modify your hive mind pops to have additional traits. Because the thing with the biological path is you get more gene points, and you also get access to new traits that you don't have in the empire generation or empire creation. So I would say the biological path is pretty good, because like if you conquer a large empire, let's say you conquer a ring world from a fallen empire or something like that, where you have a system or a lot of pops, it's going to take a long time to genetically modify them unless you have the biological path. Because the biological path, I think, reduces, when you have both of the ascension perks, reduces the time it takes to modify species by like 75%. So that's pretty significant. And it also means you can tailor your empire, your hive mind, like different types of pops towards different types of planets. You can colonize everything. I would probably recommend that. So yeah.
Excellent. Let's see if we have any. Will the mining guilds give you a shiny name as an oligarchy? What's the game design reason for hive mind pops being incompatible with other pops? I assume that's less of a game reason and more of a actual settings reason.
I can't remember exactly all the reasons, because Martin handled most of the things with the hive minds.
Yeah.
But I would imagine, sort of off the cuff, I think it has to do with them not having factions, and it being like maybe too easy to like use other pops.
Yeah.
Probably something like that, because they wouldn't really work in combinations with the other hive mind features.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of a bit of that combined with the fact that you want to have a unified empire. You can't really, as an empire, like have species that, like, here are the hive mind species pops living aside the non-hive mind pops. It doesn't make any sense because they're so different they would never be able to interact. It's like, imagine like we have large ants walking past there. Like, okay, they're not going to kill us, but we can't interact with them in any way. It would be like sort of weird.
It would be a bit weird, but also kind of cool.
Yeah.
But mostly weird, unless
mostly weird
if they stepped on us. Let's see what else. Can you slave your own drones or other species as hive minds? As far as I know, I assume hive minds can't really have slaves in the sense that other non-hive minds die off.
Yeah. No, I don't think they can have slaves because they don't have an ethics. So like all other species, I believe, are set on undesirable, so you can't change that. And you will start eating them.
Tasty.
Yeah. Hive minds eat other pops.
Yeah.
Non-hive mind pops, I mean. Someone asked another question that I forgot to answer. What was it?
Well, we have some. Let's see. So there's a bunch here. Is there a hive mind fallen empire?
No, there's not a hive mind fallen empire, but that's probably a good idea to add. Think about that.
Can hive minds trigger the worm? Who knows? I guess you'll have to find out. We can ask.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that they could, but we'll see. Speaking of the worm, because we are almost out of time, we will be back with more Stellaris on Saturday, because like I said, we are hashtag here all week. And on Saturday, I am going to talk to Alexis Kennedy about Horizon Signal, because he's also here. So we're going to force him into our booth and have a chat about what it was like for him to work on Stellaris and the type of content he made. That's going to be at 16:30 Central European Summertime.
Yeah.
Here in London, it's going to be 15:30 because they're not in the same time zone as Central European Summertime.
Yeah. And I would also recommend people to check my Twitter over the last coming days.
And what's your Twitter?
You can probably write it in the chat instead of me having to try to say it.
I could.
That might be easier. D. Morgard.
Yes. Oh. This keyboard is not
yeah.
Yeah. So is a Twitter you should follow. This is
yeah. If people check it now, they will see why they should check it in the next coming days.
Yeah. So if you're interested in insights, sneak peeks, and stuff from Stellaris, other than of course following Stellaris game, Martin, follow Daniel as well. And we are going to take a quick break from streaming here at EGX Rezzed. We will be back in. I look at my arm and I don't have my watch on. We will be back in half an hour with Alexis from Eugen Systems, and we are going to do some more Steel Division Normandy 44.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're all here. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and get all this Blorg musk out of here because it smells lovely. Yeah, it smells lovely, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
And thank you for, all of the tiny issues that happen at the start, but hopefully it didn't happen at the end. See you in about 30 minutes.
See you.